This is KLEAN Radio.
Welcome, everybody out there listening to KLEAN Radio on our flagship station, 790 KABC, or on the World Wide Web at KLEANradio.com. That's KLEAN with a K. And for one last week on XM 165, because next week we will be moving to XM 243 at the exact same time. That's XM 243. In the studio tonight with me is my co-host with the most, the amazingly beautiful Andrew Spanswick.
Well, I got beautiful this week. Wow.
Why not?
So I'm improving each week, right? I got Ashley Hamilton. What, you were like one of the 50 most beautiful guys on earth or something?
That's like in 1936. Pre-Civil War.
We're actually going to have a lot of fun tonight, and it's really funny if you're actually listening on the local feed, which is KABC. They're talking about the #1 movie in the world, not just America, but the world. That's like the planet Earth. And
we got that part.
Yeah, but it's the planet
Unless you
Earth.
think you're in Star Trek or something.
Maybe they are playing it. They're probably playing it on the space station. So I'd say in the
Galaxy.
Galaxy. He's in the #1 movie in the galaxy. We have him in the studio tonight, and is an amazing.
If I think I'm the #1 movie in the galaxy, I'm definitely smoking something.
But not anymore, and because we are a show about addiction and recovery, and
although the rights to your contract are in the galaxy, so
it's a Disney movie, so you don't know.
Yeah,
Trust
right.
me, Disney.
You can't talk about smoking of any sorts with Disney.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to get to Ashley in a second, but I want to welcome everybody out there. It's really cool, Andrew, one of my closest friends, and it's really amazing that he's in the #1 movie in America, and I can't tell you how happy I am.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's an amazing story of recovery and hope. I'd also like to wish everybody out there a happy Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
And a crazy fact that 30% of all the fatalities that happen on the highway today are from drunk driving.
It's not surprising.
I know it's not surprising,
Without
but
insurance.
yeah.
Wait, you don't have your past friend in here.
Yeah.
just because you showed up with the Mexican.
You actually have to preface that by saying one of my best friends' name is Pablo.
Yes,
He's actually being in the last 2 minutes for Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, we're going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Pablo.
Okay.
But I'd like to get everybody out there a chance. We're going to be laughing about some stuff tonight because it's going to be hard not to, but we're going to be talking about some serious issues, but we're going to laugh about them.
Absolutely.
And it's not like we're laughing at the situation. We're just, in sobriety and recovery, one of the ways that we've learned is that you embrace your past and you tend to laugh at it.
Judah, we're not a glum lot.
We are not a glum lot.
And, Stop being so serious.
That's the tagline of that. I'm not going to be able to stop laughing tonight. So if you're in your car, you're just listening to the show tonight, give us a call. The number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. Let's just welcome him right away. Obviously, one of the stars of the Iron Man 3. It's this movie
you forgot the title there,
yes,
Judah?
It's a small movie that came out this weekend. Ashley Hamilton.
It was Steel Man 13.
It shows I'll be doing Flipper 8 next.
Yeah, Flipper 8.
He's firepower in the movie. The Huffington Post. I was reading the review because Ashley sent it to me, and it's an absolutely amazing review. And I love that it goes from Ben Kingsley and it goes to you, saying, you're beautiful and and all that jazz. And I can't say that
Talk
because
about my insides.
I think Judah's got something going on.
What's funny is,
Hey, what kind of radio station is this?
Yeah, what's really funny is I said I do have man love for the Killers, and I was at the concert the other night, and I said, Ashley, you're looking a lot like Brandon Flowers these days.
My goodness.
So the man love has switched.
Judah, you look like you're smelling the flowers.
Yeah.
Judah, you can laugh. It's okay.
By the way, if anybody out there, you could also look at what Ashley looks like, because tonight I'm no longer the best looking guy in the studio.
Oh, wow, really?
You can go to KLEANradio.com. That's KLEAN with a K. Pick up our live stream. And give us a call again. It's 800-222-5222. We're in the studio tonight with the amazingly talented Ashley Hamilton, who's written, I got to say this, he wrote one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a song he wrote for Robbie Williams called Come Undone. And if anybody wants to know about addiction, listen to this song, YouTube this song, because that is a song that's about addiction. Let's get right into that, because that's essentially your story, that song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Robbie's story, our story. Right. Yeah.
And not just solo yours, but it describes addiction like I've never heard, really.
I think so, and like I was just thinking with all the stuff I have in my life today and the success I have is all due to the program, and like without a doubt, I wouldn't have known people, or it's like when you hear people say everything's property of, are we allowed to say the 2-letter word?
Yes.
Whatever. Yes, you're allowed to break your own anonymity anytime you like.
That's what I was talking about. not AA. No, but yeah, it's like I really realized that it's such a place of gratitude and gratefulness through when you've had tough times and stuff, doors. Judah's known me for so long and seen me go through so stuff, and doors close and constant no's, and things come so close and fall apart, and that stuff's really hard in sobriety because there's no way to medicate it unless you want to medicate in other areas, which cross addiction happens. And my thing was food, but it can go to sex, gambling, wherever it goes, and then as Judah said to me once, there's nothing worse than active addiction and sobriety. Like, it's terrible because like you can't take enough to blot it out, and I don't know where I was going with any of this, but
but actually, you're talking about food addiction. He showed me Ashley's wearing this belt.
Oh yeah,
he bought
a
belt.
donut on it. Has it got a donut?
that has the waist sizes on it.
Oh, you're kidding me!
I said this is the worst size. This is the worst belt to have for like a food addict. Each hole tells you what size you're going to. So 37, size 38 waist, size 39,
and you're on 49.
No.
Dude.
He really wants to make himself feel guilty.
Right? That movie really went to his waist.
That's actually a funny joke.
So let me write that down. Hold on.
Yeah,
So this, I mean, you've been acting for years. I mean, you have an amazing story. You were on Beethoven's Second, and you had a bit of an issue on the set where you almost. I don't know if you wanted to share about it, but there was.
Here's what happened. So I came from an acting family, and it's the whole thing with addiction is they always talk about like feeling different than everybody else, and I always felt different. It's the same. You hear that, and I got success really quick. I left for Africa when I was 17 to do a movie, and I came back and did another movie with Nick Nolte, and then Jim Brooks, and then Beethoven movies, and then a bunch of other stuff. And I just felt like I didn't deserve any of it, and I wasn't good enough. And so the drugs started to play into that. And for a while, it gives you that security that you need to go do what you got to do. But then once the ism takes over the addiction, it starts to go out of control. And I remember I walked out like I'm Ridley Scott because he made me wait like 15 minutes. Like just crazy, insane. You know what I'm saying? Like now I wait 9 hours for him. Like for this movie White Squall, I was like so insane. And I was on a lot of narcotics, and I burnt my trailer. Started to burn on fire because I nodded out during Beethoven's Second. That's
a story for the kids.
I know. Yeah.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah. So the fact to be hired by Disney is really great these days.
I mean, it is. It's absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
And I can't think of a better sober story than the way your life is turning around. I mean, from there to and everything in the middle.
And it's amazing. And I gotta say, like when I say all due to Alcoholics Anonymous, I gotta like thank Shane Black, and I gotta thank Robert Downey Jr. Like all those guys went to bat for me, and they're like, we can't get you the job, dude, but we can open the door for you. And that's what I said to Judah. I was like, all I want is just somebody to open the door, and let me do the rest,
Right.
And that's all due to my friendships in Alcoholics Anonymous. Like I'd have nothing in my life if it wasn't for my friends,
And if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio. That's KLEAN with a K. We're in the studio tonight with Ashley Hamilton, star of the new movie, Iron Man 3, and also not just one of the stars of the movie, but he's got one of the best songs on the soundtrack, and it's just one of my favorite songs. You're going to be hearing this song everywhere pretty soon. This is it. Where's the chorus? I love the chorus.
Chorus comes after the verse.
I'm not used to having this many, this duel of a thread in the studio, but that's Let's Go All the Way, and you remade it. It's from 1985. It's from Sly Fox.
Yeah, it was a #1 from a band called Sly Fox.
And it's on the Iron Man 3 soundtrack.
And it's charting at #3 right now on the soundtrack.
And we're going to actually do something really cool. To the first 20 people that go onto Facebook, we're going to actually get that song for them as a gift from KLEAN Radio to you. So go to Facebook /KLEAN Radio. That's Facebook /KLEAN Radio with a K. Go and like. If you like that, and I see you're one of the first 20, you will get that song.
And out of that, Ashley will make 4 cents.
Yeah.
I know. That's the biggest joke of it all. I know. It's so true. It's so true. I got to have a day job.
Yeah, right?
But I think it's such an incredible story because we have so many people out there that are driving around listening, and it's, obviously your family has struggled with, your dad's obviously George Hamilton, and just an amazing guy to, people see this guy all the time, but he's one of the coolest guys.
Yeah, you know my dad.
Yeah, I know your dad very well. Even when he tells a story, I love hearing them.
Yeah.
And your father knows how to tell a story. And
I love my dad's like one of the nicest guys ever, but it's like being with the same comedy club every night and watching the same jokes because when you're out there as a kid, the same stories, you know exactly where the punchline's coming, and he's a great storyteller, man. I don't have that gift.
And what we put our families through, and it's got to be so amazing right now for your dad because he's been with you for the whole ride right now, and to see you sober and to see you in this movie, to see you on the soundtrack. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was really amazing too because we were in North Carolina. I was visiting my dad when I was doing Iron Man, and Robert Downey's dad was there too, and it was cool just to have because there's so much similarities in our families and stuff, and seeing how everything affects families and everything, and addiction, especially like with they say like one thing affects the 7 people, one addiction affects 7 people, and it's so true how Judah and I were just saying in the room that there's people we know how it just you raise people, it affects them, and then it affects the next people, and then the next people, and it's so weird how that can change the world, and I think that's where like the program stuff comes in, and I'm not just saying just like big book or AA. I believe it's all a spiritual journey, for me, whatever my thing is, but it's just like how do I not be the same person, drunk that I am sober? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because that's what it's really all about.
Right. What a movie. I mean, what are the odds of that movie even being made? Robert Downey Jr. and Ashley Hamilton.
I know.
Who would have thought there'd be an insurance bond on that one? And
That's the amazing...
by the way, I didn't bind that one.
Nor would you have.
To people out there that are listening, and to the people that are listening to the show, if you're going through a rough time and you're wondering to yourself, will it ever get better?
Or could you ever make it?
Or
I mean,
could you
look
ever
back
make-
at some of that video footage of Robert Downey Jr. showing up in court. And, and he's an amazing guy. Right?
Look at the biggest movie in America right now was directed by somebody that got his life together and written, was starring 2 people that 10 years ago couldn't have gotten insured. Yeah. And now we're in the number 1 movie in the country.
That's a great success story.
If you're out there listening going, I don't know how this could work for me, trust me, get sober and you're going to figure out that it does work.
But here's the thing, it can't work for you because you can't do it. And that's the whole thing, is that it has to come from somewhere else. Like I could have never put all this together. I try with all my might.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm just one of those people, it doesn't happen. I have to let it go and find that thing greater than myself to allow things to happen. Because otherwise, I could have never foreseen this in a million years when I was in gloom and doom and wanting to put a gun to my head. But you just seen it all. Depressed, when you're talking about depression, major depression, all that stuff. Like not wanting to go on, just constant rejection, constant no. It's so hard to not take that personal. Everybody's like, "Oh, don't take it personal." It's like, and you're in your bed for 7 days eating Skittles. You're 22. I can sit here and laugh now because it's like it talks about how we can sit here and laugh now because we can because we're all in a place where we're not dying today. And I'm just I'm so this is all a weird dream, right now to me with everything going on because it's just weird. And I was saying to Judy earlier, you get the weirdest people come out of the woodwork and just crazy people, Facebook offering me jobs on Facebook with weird plays on Sunset and Highland.
Because you hang out with Pablo and they know he's good with the garden.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do plays at Home Depot in the parking lot. I'm like, this is crazy.
None of this is Judah is saying. This is all Ashley and Pablo. I mean, Ashley and Andrew. But give us a call because I'd love to hear from your stories about this because if you're going through this, give us a call. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. We're in the studio with the amazingly talented Ashley Hamilton. And I mean, how hard is it? We were talking about this before when we said it a little briefly. When you were using or you were going through those times, knowing what more you could do, that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. When you're stuck in depression, knowing that you have these amazing abilities.
It's the worst.
And now you're living. You're finally.
It's the worst. It's so I wish I could get across. I wish people could go inside me for 1 second and feel that, like, and I know people feel that way, but it was so hope. There was no hope, like just no hope that anything would ever work out. And like I said, Judah was seeing it all. That I just thought nothing would ever happen again, And when you get in that hopeless place and you can't stay clean, and even when you are clean, it's so bad. You're depressed and nothing's working out and everything's wrong in your life and you don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's just like it's that thing where you just can't see yourself out of it, and you have to find something greater than yourself.
What about success? I mean, here's the movie's doing really well, and there's all these pressures now that
Yeah. It's funny, Robert.
The exact opposite, right?
Robert called me the other morning to congratulate me. I should congratulate him. That's
a great phone call. Robert Downey Jr. called me this morning and congratulated me.
Yeah, but he might have called me back. I'm not sure. But anyway, the point is like we were really talking about it and just how cool it was, because I was kind of bummed that like tons got cut, and then he was like, "Dude, it's great. What you have is amazing." Because our minds will always find fault in anything, and that was what I was telling Judah. Like, I'll find fault in anything and just make it wrong.
You watch your own films? Can you do that?
I've had to, because we've had to do stuff for the
post,
premiere and post. But I don't like to. Like I don't like to.
It's hard.
Yeah,
right?
I can do it when we're on set, but after I'm done, I like to just let go and but I'm doing a movie with this guy Will is about to call.
Yeah, we're gonna have him after the break. We have actually a really cool show tonight, because after the break we have another amazing director calling in, director of Spun, and
actually writer of Spun, but he's directing. He's directing Trans Loco.
I have met Will.
You know Will. Okay, so Will, yeah. But he's doing really well. And he's probably listening. He's listening right now.
I met him about 12 years ago. He's not going to remember me.
So this is like the, what's that game show name that? No, This Is Your Life. So yes,
right. It's going to be a little strange.
We've screened the other with This Is Your Life callers.
I was also telling Judah I'm doing a movie with somebody who said don't announce it yet until we close our deal, but his initials rhyme with Robert Redford. No, I'm just kidding. It's not him, but it's somebody like him.
But okay, share the story. This is hysterical story, Andrew, of what that only Ashley Hamilton could do this. Day one, right? You're shooting Iron Man 3. You're in your makeup, and you decide to take a picture of the.
Oh no! So I haven't even gotten hired. I mean, I got hired. I haven't even started. I haven't been on set yet.
That was hired, not hired.
Yeah, hire. Sorry, I can never get it right. Are we smoking again? Okay. So I'm doing all these prosthetics, 'cause I have to do some prosthetics for this character or whatever. And with Marvel, they're very guarded with their stuff. So I do an NDA, non-disclosure agreement with them. And so I have a picture of like just some prosthetic stuff, but I don't think it's a big deal. Like, and I posted it on my Facebook and Twitter and whatever, and I get a call from the president of Marvel, calls my manager, who calls me, and he goes, "They just threatened to fire you. What's wrong with you? Did they, because I did it like twice or something. Right. How many times do they have to tell you before they're going to fire you?" And I go, "God, usually I get fired when they say action. This is really bad, that was before it all started." So I get there, and the first day of shooting, there's this 5-page like monologue. 5 pages. I'm like, don't give me any scene but the 5-page monologue. And I think, okay, they're giving me that page because now they're gonna fire me on the first day. The addict mind, you know how we think. Like they're all testing me again, So it's all the heads of Marvel there. And so I go through the scene. I don't see any of them, and I'm just going, oh. And I go up to them and talk to them all, and I'm thinking in my head, they probably think, God, this guy, it's all angry at me. And so by the end of the conversation with all the heads of Marvel, I'm like, and by the way, I just tweeted this conversation. See you guys later. And they all laughed. It was great from there on out. We had a great time.
But what's amazing is that you're like the addict mind. Walking around, your mind is, with everything that you could, that is the addict mind. You described it beautifully. You're shooting a movie, and you're thinking you're going to get fired on
100%.
And that's, Andrew, that's not the addict mind. I don't know what is.
It's definitely that self-doubt and constant worry.
But to people out there that are struggling with this stuff, that are going through this, I think the biggest message is you're not alone. How hard is it? You're a handsome guy, and I say this in the most.
Judah, saying this quiet. Like, I know. I started feeling uncomfortable here.
I say this in the most heterosexual.
It's a good thing there's like a big barrier between the two.
but here's the thing. But how often were you able to get away with stuff because of that? Because you looked like you had your stuff together, and even into sobriety, sometimes you could look okay.
Yeah.
But it's the insides that are crumbling. You know, it's
I think coming from a showbiz family, you probably learn how to make it look good all the time,
Right.
even though maybe it's not looking good inside. And I've been somebody who's been able to do that, which has probably been the worst thing for me.
Well, also you're an actor.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right, so you have
I act sober all the time. Not anymore. No, I laugh about it now because it was, Judas scene and all. But I know what it's like to be out there and not be able to get clean and not be able to get sober and just want to die, because it gets to that point. There's no more partying in it anymore, And like I said, you're hopeless. There's nothing in sight for you, and there's just a way out. Like anything we talk about tonight that, you've had tons of people in there, and I'm sure they always talk about it, but it's just true. There's a way out, and it says in the, like that line it says in the book, lack of power was our dilemma, and that's so true, because I'm powerless over it, and the unmanageability part for me is not about the jail or arrest. It's the unmanageability once I'm sober, and the unmanageability in my mind, and how crazy my mind is when I say I'm the same person, but crazy with nothing to medicate it, and I'm nuts like that. I think I'm gonna get fired like crazy. I can, if I don't know how to treat that and have something to treat that, then I'm in trouble.
Well, I always say, Andrew, and we've had many discussions about this. You never want to scare you can't scare an addict or an alcoholic by saying you're gonna die. That might scare the family member.
You're like, when? Promise? If they tell me you're gonna die, like, I promise. Like, you have so much pain. You're like, when?
It's at some point, people that are addicts are sort of actively suicidal. There is a suicidal element to that obsession to constantly keep using and abusing oneself constantly. And then that gets replaced by actual suicidal ideation and actual action, unfortunately. And we lose a lot of people, not just to directly the disease, but to secondary effects of depression, anxiety, and suicidal
I've had that in
ideation.
depression. Not in depression and sobriety, that's suicidal ideation.
Yeah, it's just ideation, just ruminating thought that goes through your head over and over and over again. Luckily we're beginning to understand these things better and better.
Yeah.
And so there's ways to treat that and stop that from happening, which can aid people in continuing their sobriety.
Well, that's why I gave all my guns away in sobriety, but I kept the grenades. So I probably should not make too soon to make those kind of jokes.
And with that, we got to go to break.
And now we're going to Boston.
Oh, wow. The hits just keep coming tonight. But if you just tuned in, you are listening to Clean Radio. If you're in your car,
Andrew and I are really sick. Judah's too healthy for us,
I'm
Andrew.
way too healthy for you guys. We have calls lining up. After the break, we have an amazing writer-director, Will Santos, calling in. Andrew's in the studio with us tonight. Amazing owner, proprietor of KLEAN Treatment Center. We got the amazingly Ashley Hamilton from the #1 movie in America right now. That's Iron Man 3, top 3 song on the soundtrack for Iron Man 3. Discussion continues at KLEANradio.com.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? KLEAN Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to KLEAN Treatment Center, that's clean with a K, KLEANTreatmentCenter.com. Now back to Andrew Spanswick and Judah Friedman.
Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Working in a factory.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to KLEAN Radio.
I'm just glad to see the Judah Dance is back.
Judah Dance is back because Let's Go All the Way, performed by Ashley Hamilton, Robbie Williams, and the Wonder Girls on the Iron Man 3 soundtrack.
And for those that don't know the Judah Dance, go to YouTube and enter the Judah Dance and KLEAN Radio, and you can get...
It's just him with a yarmulke masturbating.
That was only released in the Brooklyn community, guys, and Israel. Okay? But we're in the studio
It's got
tonight.
10 million hits in Israel.
They did. We're in this. They thought it was a different type of dance. But we're in the studio tonight with Firepower, a.k.a. Ashley Hamilton from Iron Man 3. That was his song. I encourage everybody to go to iTunes and get this song. It's a remake of a Sly Fox song from 1985 called Let's Go All the Way. We're going to give actually 21st like on Facebook /KLEAN Radio with a K. We're going to give you that song.
You got to leave a comment with their name.
Leave a comment, leave your name so I know where to send it. You know, And we're in the studio with just an amazing story tonight. We have a bunch of calls lining up, but we have a great, just a surprise call. I really didn't know this was going to happen till Ashley told me 3 days ago. I'm joking. That was tonight. You were both supposed to laugh at my joke.
I got to punch your stuff up. Just call me Dr. Punch Up.
You guys are mean. Okay, let's welcome to Clean Radio, Will Santos. Welcome to Clean Radio, Will.
Hello.
Hey, Will.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Ash? How you doing?
I love that laugh.
So let me get this right. Will, we're on the phone with Will Santos. You wrote Spun.
Yeah, I wrote the movie Spun. It's like an old movie.
There's a-
But
Which was one of my favorite movies, and Andrew's.
Yes, by the way.
It was hard to live down, you know? I mean, the Spun was an account of a true story. So, you know, it was... First of all, I want to say this, is that Ashley told me about the radio show tonight, but he didn't tell me it was... he said it was Clean Radio, but it didn't click in my head, you know? I thought it was just some regular old, you know, talk show he was doing.
Right.
And so when I tuned in, all of a sudden it was like, you know, I heard you guys talking addiction. I was like, oh, my God, how wonderful. You know,
Yeah,
that's cool.
How great and how apropos.
Well, I'll tell you what, Will, when you're in town, we'll have you on.
Okay, thank you.
He is in town, Judah. He's right down the street.
Yeah, I live...
He's in the engineering booth. What are you talking about?
But
Will?
I have to say that it really all of a sudden gave me this excitement that I hadn't had before. I mean, I was talking about... we'll talk about the movie because I'm doing this new movie, Transloco, that Ashley's going to be in, as well as Pablo. But I was...
Pablo's working at the taco stand, by the way, in the movie. No joke.
Is he really?
you know, but you know, the whole reason why anything even is happening for me today is because I've gotten my sobriety together.
Yep.
And I've like you know, I tried off and on for years and years to get off speed, and I tell you, it was just like I just didn't. I always thought I could control it. You know, I thought, oh, I can do this. You know, because
You can manage speed.
I had some success while I was completely high. So, and that was the thing that really kind of trapped me, is that I thought I could do some controlled usage because I'd had success while I was high, and it was just it got to be too much, and it came to a point where all those things in my life that I wanted, like in my to be taken seriously with my career, to have a family, to be healthy, and to not be embarrassing, and to have a child, and you know, I'm getting, even though I've gained like so much weight. You know, but,
We can help you with that, Will.
We're going to talk about food addiction in a second, so keep listening.
But I tell you what, man, I have the most beautiful little boy who's 13 weeks old.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh my
That's
God,
great.
thank you. And he's just the most precious thing. And I have this wonderful woman in my life, Jennifer, and I couldn't have done it without her. And I also couldn't have done it at this time with friends like Ashley. You know, and he got me into this outpatient program up in Mulholland, the hills, and I go there, you know, a couple of times a week, and it's really been a lifesaver, and so quickly everything's come back to me, and I'm just so grateful for really having put myself into a position where I can actually have some kind of support, because I went to rehab. The very first time I went to rehab, I thought, oh, it's better to go out of town, you know, so I don't know anybody, which was foolish because I had this circle of support there,
Right.
in Inland Empire, that when I got out of the rehab, I didn't ever see any of those people ever again.
By the way, any place with Empire in it is probably not a good place to go.
But you know, you're exactly right. By the way, we're on the phone with Will Santos, writer, director. Ashley was telling me you also did Spring Breakers.
No, I did not.
No, Muse.
Did I
It's
just say
Muse.
it?
Oh, I'm
Spring
sorry.
Breakers. But we have the same production company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did the music video for Muse.
I did. No, I wrote the movie.
Muse is a production company,
They're a
Judah.
production company. They produced like
Jesus.
Buffalo 66, American.
I didn't get
Pie.
sober for this crowd, Judah.
I did all my studying on Ashley, not
So,
Will.
Will, I got to tell you this. You're not going to remember this, but you actually were in my condo on La Cienega and Fountain about maybe 10 years ago, and you just it was right after Spin had come out, I think, about a year after, so.
Okay.
And you actually signed one of the poster cards for the movie for me.
Whoa.
And it was a long scribbly signature that went all the way around the card, and I still have it to this day. So when you come into the studio, I'll bring it in. You can sign it again.
Was I out of my gourd?
Yeah, you were a little impaired.
But you might have not been fully.
You were staring at me and others very intently.
Oh, really? I was staring.
And by the way, if you just
I wasn't talking. I wasn't babbling.
The creepy guy in the corner, that's usually me.
Was I openly using?
I can't tell you that because my parents listen. So
Okay. All right. Well.
But Will, it's good. I'm so glad to it's so nice to be able for you to talk about this stuff on a bigger level, on a level of radio and press and stuff because Robert got to do it, I've got to do it, and now it's your shot again. Because you've got your life together.
It. Like I said, I thought it was just a regular radio show I was calling in.
Fooled you, buddy.
And talk about the movie, and so this is so much more meaningful because truly, I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for really, having the moment of clarity. I remember it was not so long. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I remember I called Ashley up. I said, Ashley, are you around? He goes, yeah, I'm driving by in the neighborhood. I'll stop by out front right in 10 minutes. I was out there. I went out there and talked to him. I was in the car, and I was just like going on and on. I wasn't necessarily saying like I can maybe get high sometimes. I don't know what the hell I was saying really, but I was just like, I just don't. And Ashley's like, look, man, stop being so smart. Just listen and just stop it. Don't try to think about it too much. And maybe you can do it. And so far so good. So,
I was just trying to come by and get a hand job. I'm sorry.
and I don't know if we just got bleeped or not. But Will, I said
ham sandwich. But Jesus, what's wrong with you guys? You have such sick minds.
Your number one movie in the world. Do you think you can say anything else?
Yes. And thank you, Ashley Hamilton. But Will, I just want to share with everybody out there driving. Will, I mean, everybody out there loves Spun. And, to the people out there that are driving and listening and their families are struggling, I love that you're sharing that you have a daughter, you have a
son.
A son. Yeah. I'm really off tonight, but you have a 13-week-old son.
Yeah, Abraham.
And your life, that's a great name. And I say that because mine's Judah, Abraham, and next
the baby.
And next Noah. And
it's going to work out a lot better for this Abraham, though, I can tell you that much.
Good thing you didn't pick Judah.
And so, Will, I just want you to share that message. That
Career ruiner tonight by Ashley Hamilton.
Yeah, right?
Well, just share quickly.
You thought those tweets were bad, right?
We'll share quickly just the hope out there, that there is hope to people, that they can.
Absolutely, there's hope. The thing of it is that, it's never too late. It's never too late to try to make your life better, and it's just like if people are, I was always under the impression that, I was resigned to the fact that I'm just, that's who I am. This is who I am.
I love
do
that,
speed,
yeah.
And I just have to figure out a way to attain my dreams high. And it just, at a certain point, it got to, I just couldn't do it. And I had to resign to the fact that, it's okay to have, I own who I was, and I own who I am, and I can't, leave that. But I can hope for better, I can still hope for better. I don't have to, I can embrace the past without, being there, and being that person.
Okay, well, we got to run.
And, certainly, it's hope is, I think that you can't do it by yourself. That you cannot do.
Yeah.
I try to do it by myself and not even tell anybody. Okay, I'm not telling anybody I'm stopping drugs. I'm just going to stop. And it doesn't work either.
That's how most people die.
Well, they say the same. Mind that gets you in the problem can't get you out of it.
The other thing is it is a serious medical issue, and we know now that people can just by stopping drugs can actually die. So, you need to make sure you see a medical professional that really understands what's going on.
I wish I could have heard that when I was using.
Yeah.
He just said I keep getting high, Dad.
No, and you raise that's an amazing point. And, for the people out there that are listening, we're having a lot of fun in the studio, but we're and including on the phone with Will Santos, we're with Ashley Hamilton, who's in the #1 movie in America right now. And we're proof positive, that things can change. That if
And
you're
it can, and you can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Once you get past the hard stuff, you're talking about a serious subject,
Right.
but at the same point, it's amazing to come out the other end and still be able to.
There was a
laugh.
time none of us were laughing or making jokes.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, right, when you're in the process of using, you're not laughing about this stuff.
No, not at all. I mean, I could never tell time. I was always late, constantly late. It was just like, no matter what, it was like, I have Rihanna waiting for me to get to a meeting or something. I would just be late. It
Right.
didn't matter.
And
Well, as long as you came with an umbrella, you were fine.
Yeah. Or give her a black eye.
wow, you are listening to Clean Radio.
Hey, Will, we really look
Yeah.
forward to having you in the studio, and I'd love to catch up again. So it'd be
we'll
great.
grab your number from Ashley, Will, if that's allowed.
Absolutely.
Thanks a
Love
lot,
you, Will.
I love it, Ash. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you.
And what's the name of the movie that's coming out with Ashley and Pablo?
Transloco with the Z. Tranz Loco. Transloco.
That sounds perfect.
Sounds cool.
And when's that coming out, by the way?
We're going to start shooting this summer here in Hollywood,
Okay.
and we're so excited. I'm happy that Ashley's
And
on
I'll tell
board.
you what, we make this offer right now. We would love to do something with Clean Radio and the preview and the premiere for that. We would love to do a live feed from that.
Oh, I'd
and
love
if you
that.
would
That's-
allow us to do that, we'd be honored to do that.
I'll be honored to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much, Will.
Take
Yeah.
care.
And that's an amazing call. We're in the
Great.
you're listening to Clean Radio at night. That's Clean with a K. The number here is 888-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. We're in the studio with the amazingly, awesomely talented Ashley Hamilton. I can't tell you how happy I am for your success right now, because anybody out there that deserves it, man, it's you.
Yeah.
You know, because you've been in the industry a long time. And you've gotten the nose, you've gotten all that stuff, but you kept on persevering. I mean, and never stopped.
Jude have seen it all, man.
Yeah, I have seen it. I have definitely seen it all. And you know what, though? And I was telling, I'll say this out loud. There's nobody that I could say this for that's of more of service than you. And it doesn't matter what you look like or who you look like or who you are. You're one of those people. If you call you up and say, I need help, you'll do whatever you can to help that person. And I said that in a meeting recently. I said, you're Mr. Service. And I can't think of a bigger compliment, but let's not get too weepy. And,
Let's go another call. Come on.
Yeah, let's go to, we have
going.
Rick waiting online. We have Rick in Silver Lake. Welcome to Clean Radio, Rick.
Hey, thanks, you guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
Rick.
I'm doing great. I love your guys' show. I listen all the time.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I know you guys were talking about addiction and alcoholism in the entertainment industry, and so I felt inspired to call in, and I was thinking about it today. My dad was a director and a writer and an actor, and I grew up on set with him, and he was. I didn't realize it at the time because it's the only state that I knew him in, but he was just a really severe alcoholic, and it was just when I was a kid, it was normal. I always knew where he stashed his Jack Daniels, and he would have me run to craft service. I would get a soda can. I'd pour out half a soda can, pour in the Jack Daniels, so he could sip on it, so he could make it through his day on set, without getting the shakes and DTing and stuff. And that was just an everyday occurrence, you know. And then, just all the crazy stuff that just goes with alcoholism in a normal family. And then you take a father who's a director, and he's around people all day that are, agreeing with everything he's suggesting, and then you have the people that are just hanging on because they think that they're going to get something from him. So they're bringing in more booze to his trailer, because that was his drug of choice. And,
It's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I like the
Yeah.
old John Belushi story where he paid half his crew to bring him Coke, and they're half to keep everyone away from bringing him Coke.
Yeah. Talk about bipolar.
That's right.
But actually, Ashley, Rick is raising a good question. How much fun was it being on set knowing that the biggest people on set are sober? Was it
Well, and also just like I grew up on the same way as Rick, as far as growing up on sets, and I think a lot of people in industry or show business, maybe not the most stable people in the world. So you as a kid, you probably don't get the best, and because a kid needs lots of nurturing, you know, like a plant or a flower needs lots of watering and lots of nurturing. And I think stuff with show business is very, it's very a lot of ego driven stuff and not, you know, spiritual or what's going on inside or how it looks on the outside. And like Rick was saying about, you know, the enablers who will just let you continue to do whatever you want as long as you're making the money and you're doing good. Once you're not, it's over, you know. And you know, it's just, I think it really changes a child's life growing up in that kind of environment compared to maybe a more stable home environment. But I don't believe that gives one alcoholism or not alcoholism. You know, I believe anywhere I would have grown up, I would have been an alcoholic. It just gave me different issues in my life.
I think it can accelerate it. I mean, you definitely, it's easier to obtain and get, although, you know, it's prevalent everywhere.
So, Rick, let me ask you a question. Did it ruin your father's career?
Alcohol definitely ruined my father's career, for sure. You know, I mean, my dad, he was one of, at the time, I think it was the youngest member inducted into the DGA at the time.
Which is the Directors Guild of America. Right.
Yeah, and so he was hanging out with, you know, like Sam Peckinpah and these other guys, and these are all guys that he also idolized, and they all, a lot of them drank pretty heavy, and you know,
did more than drink. Sam Peckinpah would
know,
like point at maps and say that the lines were Coke.
right, and you know, and so my dad was just trying to keep up with these guys, and you know, my dad was very good at what he did, and so they, you know, let him into his circle, you know, to their circle, and so he felt like he had to drink more than they did, and then my dad got caught up. You know, my dad was his own worst enemy. He was really talented, but when he drank, you know, like, he didn't have any filter at all. And I think at one time he was banned from every major backlot of every major studio.
He must be related to me.
In Hollywood, he used to get in fights with the producers because, you know, my dad always wanted the shots to be right.
Right.
And so
a different kind of shot.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. All the setups and everything, all the, you know, everything had to be the best it could be, and so, you know, things went over budget sometimes, and then you know, so you know,
a lot of that perfectionism comes from trying to control one's addiction. So, you know, that's a behavior we often see with addicts where they over-control and overcompensate for everything else in their life because they're so out of control with their using.
That's what I have with the food stuff where it goes to other addictions like food and stuff.
And that's, exactly. So,
how hard is that to talk about as being a guy talking about food addiction?
Well, let me tell you.
Rick, that was
finally, finally someone who understands.
Rick and Ashley, we got a new friendship going now.
And if you combine their names,
now Judah's getting jealous now.
If you combine Rick and Ashley, it's almost Rick Astley.
So tell us about food, Rick.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm a recovering addict. I'm coming up on 5 years clean.
Congratulations.
That's clean with a K.
Clean with a K, yeah. And you know, I had a 26 some odd career of using. The latter half was over 10-year daily meth run. So, I mean, I gained a lot of weight in my first 2 years clean, you know. And what I could say is that, you know, it's really hard to put down the food. It's just, I just think it's a survival mechanism. The body's trying to repair itself, and, you know, your body doesn't know when it's going to go into that starvation mode again.
Yeah, well, in NA, they say we put down the spoon and pick up the fork.
Exactly right.
So true.
Exactly right. You know, so, and man,
in my case, it's a shovel. And forget the fork.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You know, yeah, like I was at Sober Living, and the joke was, you know, when my roommates was like, "Hey, buddy, Domino's called. They were wondering how you are. They haven't heard from you today." Yeah, it was like really bad, you know.
And, you know, I mean, and how... So
Trust me, I'm an emotional eater. I cry when the pizza's gone.
That's right. Absolutely.
Shannon Doherty, not so much.
Yeah. We have to bring that up 20 years ago. Jesus. That was the end of the show.
Yeah, you know.
I got from the #1 movie to Shannon Doherty.
I had to save my history joke for last.
Rick, thank you so much for the call.
You bet.
I'm going to go eat now, thank you. I'm going to go pound some cake.
If you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio.
He's got to tell us the donut story. I got to hear the donut story.
So we got to get Pablo in here for the donut story.
We'll have Pablo come in a second.
Because it's Cinco de Mayo, so we got to have Pablo come in.
Yeah, I got to have Pablo come in.
But give us a call here. The number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. We're in the studio tonight with one of the stars of the #1 movie ever, almost, Ashley Hamilton, who's also got a #3 song on the soundtrack for Iron Man 3. Hopefully, we're hoping to increase that to #2 because we are buying 20 songs for the first 20 comments we get likes on the show tonight. So that's amazing. We have Pablo coming in right now. Ashley, but we were talking about a second ago, we're talking about food addiction. How hard is it for a guy to say I'm a food addict?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, there's, once you get clean, sober in the community of sobriety and AA, there's like a kinship and fellowship of almost, it's cool to shot dope or drink or whatever amongst your friends, but when you get hammered on cake, and face down in Tijuana and a plate full of brownies, like it's not, it's very hard to talk about, and
I've seen your face change. I mean, when we used to go to Greenblatt's a lot, and we'd order carrot cake, and or Ashley would order carrot cake, and I'd see you eat it, and I'd see
the change.
And Andrew, what is that to see the absolute change? I mean, it was
you're
almost
still hitting the same receptors. It's just a different substance. So, it's the body's set up to receive pleasure, to do things that are supposed to help it. Unfortunately, human beings have these very creative minds where we come up with taking things like chili peppers that used to taste sweet, and we make them where one drop will burn your tongue. So we've done that with everything. We've done it with sugar. We've refined sugar. We've we've made carrot cake. I mean, that's not carrot cake doesn't grow on a tree.
I would justify it by it's carrots.
That's how I would justify it too.
That's my vegan, vegan sugar addiction.
I would totally do the same thing, but years ago, Ashley and Pablo, who just walked into the studio, say, "Hey, Pobs."
Hey, everybody.
I laugh about it because it's not affecting my life like it used to, and it was so hard, and so it's the same thing as the action. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, and then you're doing it, and then you're like, why did I do it? And if you don't get control of those other disorders like food addiction or sex addiction or gambling, it will most likely take you out and you'll drink again because you just can't take the pain of that same thing.
It is the same process. And you're right back in it, and so you need to be aware. And people need to be aware that it is all the same thing. It's just the substances changing or the process.
But it's a different kind of recovery for food than drugs and alcohol.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing where
also the factors that will lead people into it are different. And we were talking the other day but just about how advertising has affected men so much since the 80s. So, men really weren't advertised to before, and now you see so many more eating disorders occurring with men and males, and that's leading to other addictions because to lose weight, people will take meth, they'll use coke, they smoke cigarettes even, extensively just to have that nicotine, just to keep their appetite low. So all this stuff, it leads into more and more types of addiction. So
I just use poppers to keep skinny.
So you got Pablo
count,
here.
Does it? Speaking of poppers.
Yeah, speaking of poppers, we'll go right into Popper Pablo.
I meant peppers.
Anyway, so
chilies.
Pablo was in the office the other day with Ashley, and they told me a great story about donuts. So we just got to get it on the air.
It was also me that was part of this equation because years ago.
Don't leave Judah out. He was definitely
because I've never felt so normal. I've never felt so normal as far as being not a food addict. So one night they'd go, hey, let's go get donuts. It's 2 a.m.
Right.
So we go to this local joint in town, and I'm thinking we're going to get a donut or two. And no, it wasn't a donut or two. We pull over, and I think
it's
we
like
had
2 a.m. We're copping drugs.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same thing.
And it was like I was like, come on, and like Pablo's sweating.
Pablo, he's got to tell the pre-story because I loved his pre-story about how he was like eating well with his food sponsor. And then, like, in the back of his head was donuts.
Yeah. But Pablo is sweating. I kid you not, at the donut store.
I remember that.
And we get to the donut store. Pablo orders like a dozen donuts.
And that's just for him.
Yeah, that's just for him. 2 chocolate milks right away. And he's like, and I see him devouring them and just sweating as he's doing this. He's not a vision for you at this moment. And I'm like, dear Lord, that's food addiction.
That's
it.
And
Ashley was, they were, it was quite the.
Pablo and I went to a program, and the program is you have to have 3 meals, a day with nothing in between, right? No white sugar, no white white flour, everything weighed and measured. So all of a sudden you're starting to restrict everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at that point you can't be eating the same amount of food that a girl who's 5'4" and 90 pounds compared to me 6'4" and 205 pounds. I mean, that's just crazy.
You can eat the girl though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd probably the pastrami sandwich first.
And to never be held on KLEAN Radio again. ABC Radio is KLEAN Radio.
We got 4 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
So let's go through the story. I want to hear it. Come on.
So anyway, I get Pablo to get into this program with me because I need support, and Pablo is my support. So I have him as my co-guy, and I'm gonna let Pablo take over the story because he tells it so well.
Let's go, Pablo. This is you. You're cute.
Yeah, can I do it in Spanish?
Yeah, you can do it in Spanish.
No, please not.
Yeah, you Spanish first, and I'll do English.
All right,
first.
so my name is Pablo, and I'm just very grateful to have
He
you.
just said his name is Pablo, and he's grateful for being
to
here.
be in the show. I love it. Anyway, so we ended up joining this program where you got to get a sponsor, and what happened was like Ashley's sponsor was a girl, and my sponsor was a girl, and they were homies, they were friends. So every time he called her up, like my sponsor was right next to her. So one day, it was Friday night, I'll never forget this. We're driving up Crescent Heights from I think it was
But before this, we're together, and he's like, we're trying to sponsor each other, and we'd be in the grocery store shopping together, and I would get like a Dannon yogurt, and he'd be like, "You can't eat that. That's not in your program." I'm like, "Shut up!"
And then
Guys,
what I used to do.
Guys, we got to get to the ending of the story quick because we're running out of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, so we drive up, and then he's like, "Call your sponsor." I'm like, "No, I'm not calling her." And I'm like detoxing, I'm sweating like Judah said, and I'm like, I want to kill everyone because at this time I don't have any sugar in me. I had like 7 days, and so we ended up meeting our sponsors, like the French place. Right on Santa Monica, Crescent Heights.
Right across from the donut shop.
Right across the street from the donut. So we had steaks.
Good sponsor.
And, we had steaks and everything, and then all of a sudden, like my.
I'll meet you at the shooting gallery.
I think Pablo's delaying this story so he could be back on next week.
No, my sponsor says, she's like, "Are you okay? Is there like, are you guys good now? You guys are not gonna like go out on a run?" And I'm like, no, we're fine. Then as soon as we walk out of that place, I look at Ashley dead in the eyes. I said, "Tasty donuts?" And he goes, "Tasty donuts it is, my friend." And he walked right across the street on Sunset and Crescent Heights.
You got two 12-packs.
And then like we got like a 24-pack, and I slammed my donuts like in less than a minute, and I got the most sugar rush that I have ever gotten. It was like that. I used to smoke like some PCP back in the days, about 19 years ago, and it was the same effect. It was like, you seen Training Day where like he smokes a little bit of dust and he sees like the birds.
That was exactly you, 24 donuts.
Yeah. It was bad.
That would be his movie name. 24 donuts.
Yeah.
24.
We gotta get
Pablo. I want to wish you a happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, thank you.
And everybody out there. Pablo, in Spanish, can you wish all KLEAN listeners happy Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
Short version.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the whole.
Okay, I'll do a short version. Viva Mexico!
Hey,
From
there you
KLEAN
go.
Radio. And
That's when we beat the French, guys.
Ashley, I want to
That's a
thank you
revolution, right?
so much for coming in.
Thanks so much,
Nobody
guys.
deserves this more than you
Thank
do.
you so much, Judah.
It's Ashley Hamilton, seen it this week in the #1 movie in the galaxy. That's Iron Man 3. He's got the top 3 song on the soundtrack with Robbie Williams and the Wonder Girls from Sly Fox. Let's Go All the Way. It's an incredible song. Go to iTunes right now. Get this song. We were in the office last week, Rand and I and Andrew, just listening to this song. Please go out and get it, Ashley. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
thanks,
Thanks for
Ashley.
everybody's support.
And yeah, Pablo, we're
Pablo,
running out of time.
thank you, Jim.
Pablo, thank
Let's not
you,
make this
Jim.
about anybody else.
And to everybody out there that's listening that just tuned in or is a little scared to call during the show, give us a call. Number is 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. You no longer have to go through this by yourself. Just please give us a call. Everybody on the show tonight, everybody that called in, is a vision of hope. So
Don't drink and drive
and
tonight.
don't drink and drive
Call
today.
a cab.
Please call a cab or call that number 888-601-6040.
We'll
try
send
to
someone
get
to
you
pick
help,
you up.
and we will send somebody to pick you up.
Pablo will come get you. If you have
Pablo-
donuts.
Right.
No Drinko de Mayo. No Drinko de Mayo.
The discussion continues at KLEANradio.com.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? KLEAN Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to KLEAN Treatment Center, that's clean with a K, cleantreatmentcenter.com.